Okay, so obviously, if you're watching this, chances are you are not a software engineer. You are not a computer programmer, and you have maybe not the slightest idea of even how computers operate and how you could program a computer to perform any job that you want it to do. However, if you were one of these senior technology and software AI specialists in this country, not even the world, and you were asked, with where technology is and where it is definitely going, as it stands now with zero restrictions on AI, would you say that you are optimistic and looking forward to the implications it has on humanity and Americans, our society? If you were to ask any of them, if you were to ask anyone that is even relatively aware, I do not know a programming language, but I understand the fundamentals of a computer. When I am consuming content, let me take a step back. I question everything. I am a critical thinker, so I'd like to think. I look out amongst the world I live in, the place in which I exist, and it is only my natural instinct. I don't know where it came from. Some think that ambition and entrepreneurship is genetic. Um, I question everything. When I see something, I want to know how it works. When I get into my car, I am curious as to the systems involved to allow that car to function, at least at a fundamental level. Same goes with the society in the world that we live in. The last few years, I've been heavily questioning everybody that I meet. What do you do for a living? How are you supporting yourself? Do you have disposable income? How are you doing it? Do you have a college degree? Are you like, what is your skill? What is your niche? What are the jobs out there that I'm not aware of, that I'm not seeing? Because I would like to have a decent picture or idea of what the moving parts are. So when I am browsing videos, I'm consuming content on my phone, I'm playing a game, I'm on a website, and most people don't think about this, and they think that computer engineering and programming is quite mathematical, algorithmic, and nerd-esque. But really, you're on a website, whether it's Facebook or porn. Everything, if you start to think about it while you're consuming it, you'll be like, wow, this is a really efficient way to lay out a website. Someone designed this. Each button has a code. Each design concept is part of the code. And coming together as a web page and having directional programs in it to go to different pages, it's quite artistic and very creative, actually. And it's one of the few jobs that I would easily recommend as a practical. Back in the day it was unions. I recommend you get into a union. Well, I recommend you get into software programming, and I'm not alone on this. And before I was like, well, I actually had a psychic reading, and she was like, I see you doing some sort of computer coding, possibly working for a gaming company, and I was like, you are out of your mind. This is before I knew anything about computers that I know now. You're complete. I mean, like, wow, well, you're full of shit, because there's no way that's not me at all. Like, I'm not that nerd, and really, the internet is another world. It is a digital landscape of unlimited possibilities. And going back to where I started, the people that not only know how to program and know how the computer works, I know a very just basic, fundamental, conceptual idea of computers. And I mean, I mean, I get completely how it works. I don't even need to know how to program to. This is what's crazy. I don't even need to know how to program to understand the fundamentals of the computer and how AI is inevitable. Something a little off the cuff here, but something I need to say is that, for example, China is putting so many resources towards developing AI and a computer that is self-learning and capable of unbelievable amounts of data collection and analyzing. It is the epitome of Big Brother watching. I'm not going to even go into premonitions and visions that I've had about AI, but the United States, with that being said about China, has no choice but, it's the atomic bomb all over again. 100%. It is the Manhattan Project all over again. And people like Elon Musk has created OpenAI, which is a completely transparent group for technologists to come together and build their AI in transparency, with regulation, with caution. Corporations like Google refuse to join such groups. One of the top data collectors on the planet. So we have no choice but to. That's why I say this is inevitable, because if we don't, they will, and people have no idea what the computers are doing today. And it's not really public knowledge. It is public knowledge, but it's you have to look for it. And not even that. I can literally see on a blank screen how code could learn. It's so, like, it's honestly, it's not futuristic. It's pretty. Our software programming has matured so immensely that it's no crazy feat. Elon Musk knows it, and everybody else that is involved in that field knows that it's coming. I'm going to bring it back to Andrew Yang, who's running for president. And yes, the whole universal basic income of $1,000 a month. Truck drivers, gone. Fast food, call centers, retail. Like, if the technology and the incentives were set up and aligned so that CEOs. Let's say that there's a bunch of truck drivers working for the company and call center workers. If AI could replace it and in the long term save tons of money, the CEO is forced to save the money, or else they will be fired. That is how it is set up. It is inevitable. AI, with the right focus and incentives, can do any job. If it can do any job that you're doing better, it will. It is going to cause a economic, industrial, digital revolution unlike anything we've seen. And we've had a pretty steady pace and consistency of our economy, like, healthcare, education, gun control, infrastructure, Middle East. People need to let it go. We're dealing with a brand new beast, and we're dealing with a very uninformed and uneducated public. Not only uninformed about this AI, but extremely uneducated to actually perform some of the jobs that are going to be required in the future, with all of these older jobs going away. People are not just going to go from coal miner and truck driver to learning 2 or more computer programming languages. It's like learning French at the age of 50. It's unrealistic. There is going to be a dark time unless something like UBI is set up. Period. Inevitable. I know it to be true. It's factual. It's going to be inevitable and it's going to come. Vote for it now.